So, Elon Musk and SpaceX are teaming up to make a telescope that could blow current ones out of the water, especially with how awesome the James Webb Space Telescope, JWST, is. You know, the one that's been wowing everyone with crazy pictures of far-off galaxies and planets? Musk's new telescope wants to take space watching to a whole different level with the latest tech, hitting all sorts of light waves and processing data super fast. It might even help us figure out stuff like black holes, dark matter, and maybe even find alien life. If JWST has already changed how we see the universe, imagine what Musk's next-gen telescope could show us that's still hidden. If you're into space stuff, you've probably heard of the James Webb Space Telescope. Since it launched in December 2021, it's been making headlines with its amazing pictures of faraway galaxies and planets. But what makes SpaceX's telescope potentially way better? Well, Musk's newest project is a telescope that could be way more powerful than JWST. This isn't just talk. If Musk is right, this telescope could totally change what we know about the universe, uncovering secrets that JWST just can't reach. SpaceX has a reputation for pushing tech to the limit. They've already changed space travel with their reusable rockets, and now Musk is aiming even higher. He wants to make humanity a multi-planet species, and this telescope seems to be a step in that direction by helping us unlock cosmic secrets. JWST was a game-changer when it launched. It's great because it can see infrared light, which lets it see through space dust and show us things other telescopes can't. This has really improved our ability to see far into space and time. Its big mirror can spot light from galaxies that formed soon after the Big Bang, giving us a look at the early universe. But even with all its amazing abilities, JWST has its limits. One big one is that it mainly works in infrared. While that's great for seeing distant galaxies, it can't see other types of light. For example, JWST can't capture visible light like the Hubble Space Telescope, so we miss out on some important details. This is where Elon Musk and SpaceX come in. Musk has always tried to push the limits of what's possible, and this telescope is a perfect example. Unlike JWST, which focuses on infrared, Musk's telescope will see all kinds of light, including visible and ultraviolet. This is big because it gives scientists a way better view of the universe instead of just seeing one small part of it. Even better, it'll process data in real time. One problem with current space telescopes, like JWST, is that it takes a long time to analyze all the data they collect. With Musk's new telescope, SpaceX wants to use artificial intelligence to understand data as it's being captured. This could speed up discoveries and give researchers almost instant info from their observations. But it's not just the inside tech that makes it awesome. It's also SpaceX's plan for how to launch and take care of it. SpaceX has already proven they're good at building rockets with their Falcon 9 and Starship vehicles. They've made space travel cheaper and more efficient. SpaceX wants to use that same tech to make cosmic observation better. One big challenge with space telescopes like Hubble and JWST is that they cost a lot to build, launch, and keep running. And once they're up there, fixing or upgrading them is tough. For example, astronauts had to go on missions to fix the Hubble Space Telescope. Musk has a different idea, a smaller, easier-to-launch telescope that can be serviced more often. Instead of relying on one big telescope like JWST, SpaceX could launch several smaller telescopes with different abilities. These would be closer to Earth, making it easier to upgrade and fix them. Another advantage of being closer to Earth is that we can observe more often. JWST is pretty far from Earth. While that keeps it stable, it also means it's hard to get to for repairs. Musk's telescopes would be much closer, so we could observe more regularly and use new discoveries faster. If something breaks, SpaceX could send a crew to fix it, which JWST can't do. Now, think about how this could change the search for life beyond Earth. Elon Musk is super interested in aliens. He's often said he thinks life exists somewhere out there. The problem is, we haven't found any proof yet. Musk's telescope could change that. With its ability to see all kinds of light and analyze data fast, it could help us find signs of life on distant planets. If SpaceX's new telescope lives up to the hype, it could totally change how we understand the universe. Imagine finally proving that aliens exist. That would be one of the biggest scientific discoveries ever, changing the future of space tech. Clearly, Musk's telescope isn't just about looking at stars and galaxies. It's about expanding our knowledge and opening up new ways to explore space. Whether it's solving the mysteries of black holes, dark matter, or distant worlds, this telescope could help us answer some of humanity's biggest questions. Where did we come from? Are we alone? What's our future in the stars? So, how will they do all this? Claiming this telescope will be way better than JWST is one thing, but how will SpaceX make it happen? That's where their smart engineering comes in. Musk and his engineers aren't just building another space observatory. They're changing how these things are designed, launched, and maintained. It's all about being efficient, saving money, and making amazing discoveries. Getting a telescope into space is one of the biggest challenges of astronomy. Traditional telescopes like Hubble and JWST cost a ton and require complicated launches. But SpaceX has changed space travel with its reusable Falcon 9 and Starship rockets, making it cheaper and faster. Musk wants to use these same rockets for his new telescope, allowing for more frequent missions, lower costs, and the chance to launch powerful instruments without spending billions each time. But the real genius of SpaceX's plan is the telescope's design. Unlike JWST, which is huge and far away, Musk's design is small and flexible. It can be launched and serviced in space. This fixes one of the biggest problems with traditional telescopes. Once they're in space, there's no going back. If something breaks, it's usually too expensive to fix. For example, Hubble had a problem with its mirror at launch, and it took a human mission to fix it. Musk's telescope, on the other hand, is designed for easy maintenance and upgrades in space. Putting it closer to Earth makes it easier to get to for repairs. This keeps the telescope up to date with the latest tech. Think of it like a smartphone. When there's a new update or hardware, you upgrade instead of buying a whole new phone. Musk's telescope can evolve over time, so we don't need to keep launching new ones. Another big advantage of being closer to Earth is that we can observe more often. Because it's closer and easier to service, the telescope can be relaunched or upgraded more often, allowing scientists to gather data faster. Instead of having one giant telescope like JWST, SpaceX could send up a bunch of smaller ones, each designed for something specific. These would be closer to Earth, making it easier to upgrade and fix them. This would be a game changer, because the telescope could keep up with new tech, and if there's a new breakthrough in how optical systems or AI, SpaceX could add it to the telescopes we already have. Instead of building a whole new one. The other nice thing about being closer to Earth is that we can observe things more often. JWST is pretty far away, which keeps it stable but also makes it hard to get to. Musk's telescopes would be much closer, so we could watch things more regularly and use new discoveries faster. And if something breaks, SpaceX could send a crew to fix it. JWST can't do that. Now, here's where things get really exciting: the search for life outside Earth. Elon Musk has talked a lot about how he believes there's life out there somewhere. The problem has always been finding proof. Musk's telescope could be a big part of changing that. Because it can see so many different types of light and analyze data instantly, it could help us find signs of life on planets far away. These signs, such as water vapor, methane, or oxygen, that might show that there's biological activity. Telescopes like JWST aren't great at finding these signals right now, but with SpaceX's new tech, we might be able to find planets that could support life. If SpaceX's telescope does what it promises, it could totally change how we understand the universe. Can you imagine if we actually find alien life? That would be one of the biggest discoveries in history and would change everything we know about space, and the whole point is that the telescope would let us study the atmospheres of exoplanets in detail, giving us clues about whether humans could live there someday. This ties into Musk's big plan to create a civilization that lives on multiple planets. So, Musk's telescope isn't just about looking at stars and galaxies. It's about learning more and finding new ways to explore space. Whether it's solving the puzzles of black holes, dark matter, or distant planets, this telescope could help us answer some of the questions we've been asking for a long time, such as, where did we come from? Are we alone? What's our future in space? These aren't just things to think about, which are scientific questions, and with the right tools, we might finally find the answers. So, how is all of this going to happen? After listening/absorbing/reading how amazing and transformative Musk's telescope vision is, you might ask, by what means will they actualize it? Claiming that this telescope will be 250 times more potent than JWST is one thing, but how will SpaceX deliver on that? That's where their engineering genius comes into play. Musk and his engineers aren't constructing another space observatory. They're reinventing how such devices should be designed, launched, and maintained. It's a philosophy grounded in efficiency, cost efficiency, and optimized capacity for groundbreaking revelations. One of astronomy's biggest problems is getting a telescope into orbit. Older telescopes like Hubble and JWST cost a ton of money and required complicated launches. But SpaceX has changed space travel with its Falcon 9 and Starship rockets, making things cheaper and faster. Musk plans to use these same rockets for his new telescope, which means more frequent launches, lower costs, and the ability to send up powerful telescopes without spending billions of dollars every time. But the real cleverness of SpaceX's plan is in how the telescope is built. Unlike the huge, unmovable JWST, which is about 1.5 million kilometers away, Musk's telescope is small and flexible. It can be launched and serviced in orbit, which means it cuts down one of the biggest problems with older telescopes, because once they are there, it is largely irreversible. If problems emerge, repairing them is often prohibitive. For example, Hubble had a problem with its mirror when it launched, which required a human intervention mission. In contrast, Musk's telescope is purposely engineered for in-orbit maintenance and upgrades. Stationing it in low Earth orbit allows for more straightforward maintenance access. This ensures the observatory remains technologically current for longer. Think of a smartphone. When a new software update or hardware enhancement is available, you upgrade rather than replace the entire device. Similarly, Musk's telescope can evolve incrementally, eliminating the need for entirely new deployments. You can upgrade it instead of replacing it. Another cool thing about being close to Earth is that we can observe things more frequently. Because it can be launched or fixed more easily, scientists can gather info more quickly. JWST is so far away that it's basically impossible for humans to service it, which means with Musk's telescope, if there's a new tech advancement, a crew could be sent to upgrade it. This makes Musk's telescope a versatile, up-to-date tool for researchers, not just something that sits there and becomes outdated. If you liked this deep dive, be sure to like and follow for more exciting content like this. Elon Musk's goal of improving space exploration is clear with this telescope project. He's not just building another telescope, he's creating a base for a new chapter in space science, and he wants to make space exploration more open, efficient, and impactful. If this telescope works, it could change not just astronomy, but how we see and interact with the universe. Another thing that makes Musk's project stand out is that he wants to work with agencies like NASA and other space companies, and while SpaceX is known for its skills, these partnerships will let them share resources, information, and data, which will help speed up the telescope's development. This teamwork will be important for the project's success, bringing together some of the smartest people in both the private and public sectors to make this dream a reality.